Hey there, Steve Rubis with another installment of Capital Markets Investor Relations in 2 minutes or less. Today we're going to talk about investor relations and track record. And there's a great quote from Bill Parcels: "You are what your record says you are." And your record says a lot about who you are. It says where you've been, what you've done, what you've accomplished, and what you haven't accomplished. And success is usually determined by consistency, execution, and discipline. And when you fail, it's usually because you're inconsistent or you haven't executed on what you say you're going to do. So let's look at Sergei Bobrovsky's track record, who I think is a great player to look at here in the Stanley Cup Finals. And the idea is he's kind of overlooked or relatively obscure to a more common hockey fan. And when you look at his track record, it's very interesting. He's had a long career in some obscure places like Columbus, where he was traded by Philadelphia for next to nothing. And he won 2 Vezina trophies while in Columbus. And his record is who he says he is. He's a Stanley Cup winning goaltender that's a future Hall of Famer. And yet people don't know who he is. Well, let's look at investor relations and track record. And for me, the 2 biggest things are: how many programs has someone run, and how many different businesses or industries have they been involved in? And then there's 4 different statistics that an executive can really judge track record of an IRO. And it starts with the idea of how often and how many times have they unlocked shareholder value. Number 2 is proxy voting. How are they doing on annual proposals and M&A situations? Number 3, investor interaction stats. How often are they interacting with investors during the week, months, quarters, years? And then finally, have they won awards through Institutional Investor or IR Magazine? And let's end it with 3 key learnings. And the first is your record is who you says you are. And the idea is if you're unlocking shareholder value at many different places, you're going to do that again in the future. Number 2, the more difficult the situation, the greater the accomplishment. If an IRO is unlocking value in several difficult situations, they're going to do it in future situations, especially if they're easier situations. And third, the more industries and the more companies an IRO has unlocked value at, the more successful they are, and the more it shows that they're best in class investor relations officer. So, if you need help unlocking shareholder value, I'm always here to help, and thanks for watching.